Evil Dead Burn. Follow up to Evil Dead Rise. It is an Evil Dead movie. It follows the same thing. People keep dying until there's one person left, and then they win.
Yeah.
That's the Evil Dead movies.
Yeah, and they're possessed by demons that do some really fucked up shit.
Yeah. You're not gonna feel like eating while watching the movie.
No.
So the movie centered around the death of this guy named Will, and the events right after his funeral, which of course takes place in a house that's in the middle of nowhere because that's how it's gotta be.
The Evil Dead formula.
The main character is Alice, which was Will's wife, and she spends like the rest of the movie with his family, who assumingly hates her or doesn't like her very much.
They're very judgmental towards her.
Yeah. And then, meanwhile, like the Deadites are like slowly invading them.
Yeah.
It seems to me like for the first time, really, the Deadites actually have an objective in this movie, which I kind of liked. It was to find this dagger that Will's grandfather
grandfather.
had. And he was like in this cult or whatever. And I don't know if it's that they were trying to summon the Deadites or that they were trying to stop them or exactly what it was.
Yeah, it seemed to me more like they were trying to stop the Deadites, and that's why they have this dagger in their possession.
Right.
Yeah. Normally, the way the Deadites come into the movie is somebody, opens up the Book of the Dead and says the words, and that's how they get summoned. But in here, it seems like it's picking up kind of from where Rise left off.
Yeah.
Because, like, the movie starts out in, like, a lake, which, if you've seen Rise, that's where everything, like, at the start of that movie kind of started too. So it seems to imply it's the same lake. And even, like, that Deadite at the start kind of looks like the girl from Rise that was possessed. So yeah
the girl from the end or beginning of Rise, whichever way we want to look at it, she's in this movie. And it really feels like this movie is trying to say like, oh hey, we're actually gonna have like a continuity here. Which I guess I don't think they reference the first of the reboot movies.
Like the very first one, no. I don't think that has been referenced at all.
I think Rise is like the beginning of this like new universe.
Yeah, and even that's more like, I think there's a couple of Easter eggs in Rise that tie it into like the original like Evil Dead 1 and 2, and I guess Army of Darkness included in that too. So they're supposed to all be in the same universe. I don't know how much the reboot movie from like 2013 ties into that. So yeah.
So I'm wondering where they're gonna go with this because they have plenty of references to Rise.
Yeah, they do.
So it seems like they're going somewhere with this. So this video is kind of going to be split into two camps here. Because as someone who I'm not like a huge Evil Dead guy, I feel like they're pretty low on plot, and it's really just like killing most of the movie and stuff. And it's not my type of thing. So I'm kind of representing that camp.
And I'm representing the camp where, listen, if you love Evil Dead and you know what you're getting into, you're gonna love this movie. It's literally just everything that was cool about Evil Dead 2 and Evil Dead Rise, but like kicked up to 11. This is a brutal movie. Some fucked up shit happens in this movie, and like I loved every minute of it. I was entertained like crazy. But I've seen reviews about this movie where they're saying like, oh, this is a little too brutal or it's too like depressing or whatever. I don't know what they're talking about because I thought this was like probably the funniest movie since 2. So
that is true. It actually was funny. For like the reboots. Like 2 is just wacky.
2 is super wacky, and like I thought Rise had its wacky moments, but overall it tries to stay pretty serious. But this one is embracing the campiness and the wackiness. Like
not all the time, all the time, but yes. Specifically one character.
Yes, exactly. I already loved Rise, and I love this one even more. So that tells you kind of where I'm at with regards to these movies.
So I wasn't too big on Rise, but surprisingly, I actually like this movie, and part of it is because it has more of a plot. Especially at the beginning, I'm actually pretty invested at the beginning before like all the killing starts happening like nonstop. But and then also the funny part, it's kind of neat too. So I guess it's kind of something to be said as like a non-Evil Dead fan to say that I kind of enjoyed this movie, but it did have a lot of like those horror tropes where people are dumb and they gotta do dumb things to keep the plot going.
Yeah, and this is where I would come in as like the fan and be like, well, you know, this is like just part of the tropes of the genre, and also kind of like what these movies do, you know? They don't really try to present themselves as like super smart or like logical, and you kind of have to meet the movie where it's taking you, right, where it wants to be. And at that point, I say, like, you know, some of the stuff that might seem a little dumb is dumb, but it works because that's kind of what the movie's going for.
You know, another thing that I guess to like the casual audience just seems nitpicky, but there's like this inconsistency in like all of the Evil Deads where it's like, how do they become a Deadite? Like, at first I'm like, oh, so okay, they have to die first. Like a Deadite has to kill them. Nope, because people that are still alive become Deadites. Yeah. Okay, so maybe it's like the DNA, like they get infected or something with the blood. Nope, because there's characters that get blood on them that don't turn into Deadites.
Yeah.
So then it's like, what's the rule? There is no rule. So they just whatever
the rule is just
needs.
Whatever's cool, you know, whatever ends up being more cool. I mean, it sounds stupid, but that's kind of what they're going for.
And see, that's why I said I might sound nitpicky to like the average person, but it's the kind of thing that gets to me.
Yeah, that's fair. If you're already a horror fan, especially an Evil Dead fan, you're gonna like a lot of the stuff that's in here. But if you don't, then it might be a harder sell.
Well, maybe in the next Evil Dead movie, they'll finally have an army of darkness. But they're gonna need an Ash too. They don't have a likable main character yet.
Well, you know, we're running through a lot of main characters in these, you know? And like, that post-credit scene did seem like they're gonna bring someone back. Not a main character, but one of the Deadites. So we'll see what happens, you know?
Why is this demon-killing dagger in a box full of other common daggers, like this Home Depot knife? What is going on here?